Good evening, command staff for the COVID-19. I want to shoot you a short video and let this be if you want to say, our first um, command staff meeting. I'm in Statesboro for the next few days, and but I didn't want to wait until I returned before we had a chance to if you want to say, speak a little bit and start moving in a direction. And we already have. We've already done quite a few things. I'm going to be sending out to you here in the next few minutes an email chain that is going to be our command center, virtual command center. With NIMS, generally incidents that NIMS is involved with, or you bring NIMS in, there's a lot of things happening and quickly. You've had a tornado, something like that has happened, and so you have a physical command center where everybody goes to. And so if you can imagine all of us sitting in the same room, and you're hearing things in real time by every member of the command staff. Well, this is happening kind of in slow motion as we're moving forward, hopefully not to have a ground zero, if you want to call it that. And in that process, we're in preparation, but we do need some type of command center so that we can have regular and ongoing communication. So, in light of having a face to face meeting, which I do want to start having at least one face to face meeting a week until we have a resolution, I want to start this email chain. This is where we're going to have all of our conversations. If you have anything to share, we're going to share it with everyone, just like you would be in the room. Everyone would hear what you're saying at that time. Just like in a physical room, sometimes you need a little sidebar with someone, where you'll see a couple of folks step off to the side. If you need to do that, then do that away from the email chain. You can do it text message, phone calls, however you want to do it. But let me ask that you don't do those sidebar conversations with command staff members through email, because that could get confusing to where now we have two emails, and there's some misunderstanding that everyone was in on that conversation. So if you need a sidebar, and we all will from time to time, do those in any way that you need to, except don't do it through email. Once you've made some decisions in those sidebars and you want to come back to the whole group, then come back into the email chain. So let me ask you that again, that you do that. Also, with this email chain, go ahead and forward this along. The video will be attached to it. Forward this along to your deputy officer or your assistant deputy commander. I want to make sure that we got the right people in, and I think I know who most of you have, but I want to make sure we have the right people. So copy me on that forward, and then I'll make sure that I attach them to the email chain as we go forward, so that they're involved with that as well. Some thoughts, just real quick, some thoughts about the different areas, so that when we do get together later this week, I want you to be thinking along these lines, such as Steve with logistics. Well, first, you got to think about this as this is not the Columbus State organization structure. This is a NIM structure. So all org charts and everything kind of go out the window. And I think you'll see from this first example, as much as anything, what I mean by that. So with Steve with logistics, Steve, everything that we have at the campus is a resource, a person, a department, supplies, materials. It doesn't matter, where that is. One of the best examples I can just think of right now is Cool. Academic Affairs is using Cool right now to help build out the class structure in D2L to get all that going. But that is a resource, and right now it's being used, so it needs to be, in a sense, checked out needs to be checked out by business continuity, where Deborah is running that area, so it needs to be checked out to that group. So that if somebody needs Cool and involved with the coronavirus, you'll know that group has been checked out. Once if they're through with them, they'll check that group back in, and you'll know that as well. So if somebody's asking for that resource, we know if they're busy, not busy, or can we borrow some of them. So everything's a resource, and you manage all the resources. So think in terms of that checking in, checking out, and we're going to need a way to do that, whether it be an Excel sheet or a program that you have. All resources. This is a great place to get started for just incident command overall, generators and hoses, anything that we would have. But right now, think about what we're doing with the coronavirus and the resources that we need as far as that goes. Jeff, with finance and administration, who do we need MOUs or contracts with right now? Thinking off the top of your head, is there anyone that we need? We probably need to look at our Piedmont MOU with our downtown with the clinic there. Is there anything that needs to be added to that, or is that pretty solid as far as what we would need from them? Are all of our MOUs, are they up to date with whatever local source or resource that we would need, whether it be fire, police, EMS, any MOU that we have? We need to get it over to Rick. Rick will be archiving all these, and are they up to date and they speak to what we need? Also, where's Airmark with this? What are they doing right now as far as cleaning and such? And I know that we'd like to know that. I'm sure students and moms and dads would like to know too. What is Airmark doing? I'm sure that the regular stuff is great. Are they taking any new precautions? What happens if we do get to ground zero? We'll still have some students that are here. This is their home, or they have nowhere to go, and so they will be here. So is Airmark ready for that? Looking down here, Chief Lott, and talked about there's no titles or such. Well, Chief Lott always has a title. Our police chief is really appointed to us by the state, and it's a state entity amongst itself, kind of separate from the university. We happen to pay them, but Chief Lott is then really empowered outside of us as a chief with the state of Georgia. But Chief, if we hit zero, how do we close down? Are we shutting all the streets down, coming and going? Do we have any kind of controlled access? Do we turn off all swipe cards, selective swipe cards? Where are we headed there? Deborah, with business continuity, I know you're working with the faculty and Cool to get D2L, to get that moving. But if we hit zero and we need student affairs, we're going to have to work with students leaving, checking out. We're going to have something in place with students that are going to be staying with us. How do we've got to have their access available and such. So that's another area as far as the business continuity that we're going to need to take a look at. Kelly, in your section, every person on campus is available to you, really except campus police and the command staff folks. And so start thinking right now, from every person that we have, who could lead a task force if we need to do something on campus, whatever that happens to be. If physical types of things that are happening on campus, and it may be closing roads. Who are the best people? Again, not by job description or whatever, but who are the best people that could take a group of people anywhere on campus and accomplish a task with little to no supervision, and start getting your short list together, with those folks. Let's see, Greg, with our email, command center email. Nothing leaves this email, and whether it be in the email or whether it be in if we physically go to a command center, nothing leaves without your okay. And I want to make sure everybody knows that, but that's or just Greg's chief responsibilities is to control messaging and work with that. So nothing leaves this website, folks. This is ours. Rick, We need to get a shared drive going for document storage, and I'm going to need you. I'll be doing it as well, but I need you to help back me up here some. Checking our command center email on a regular basis throughout the day, every day. Uh, and if someone needs something and you see it hanging out there a little bit, we need to be knocking on folks, parenthetical doors, if you want to say, and getting people to respond and keeping things moving. We're also going to need you to start working on a narrative that is going along with what we're doing. So a timetable, but a narrative as well as to when we're taking actions. Dates. What did we do? Dates. What did we do? So that when we do go back to green, in a sense, that we'll know what we did, when we did, why we did it, and such like that. The last part here, if something needs to be done immediately, and again, I'm not around, Ed will act as incident commander in my absence, through the coronavirus. So what we have in place now it's most of it is in place for anything that we have going on with incident command. But this one in particular, with the coronavirus, Ed would step into the incident commander type position. You will talk more about the different types of things that could happen just in general with with NIMS and with incident command. If obviously if it in different circumstances, if we have damage to buildings, or there's a criminal act taking place, then Chief Lott's going to be the incident commander on those. But this particular one, there's a little bit of movement around that in our work towards getting ready for zero. That's what I'm calling if we have to close and start working, remotely delivering course content and such. That would be zero for us, and we're planning for it, but we don't want to do it. Okay, I appreciate all of you, sure do, and I'll shoot this out to you here in just a few minutes. If you have any questions at all, anything that I can help you with, again, 24/7. Call me, text me, whatever you need to. That number is 229-310-9462. Okay. Hey, have a great Monday. All right. Bye.